Have you ever wondered why or how something happened? Have you ever thought about going back and changing something that you wish that you could have done differently? I think at some point all of us have at least thought about something like this, or about what would have happened if, what if. I often wonder what would happen if I go back and change something in my life that I didn't like. Would the outcome be the same? Would my life be like it is today, or would it be completely different? This is a term called the butterfly effect, and I'm going to tell you about the origins where this concept came from, the counter theories that the scientists presented to try to disprove this, and also how the popular media sees this theory. The butterfly effect is a term in chaos theory, and according to the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary, the chaos theory is a branch of mathematical and physical theory that deals with the nature and consequences of chaos and chaotic systems. The butterfly effect was a term coined by Edward Norton Lawrence, who was a mathematical professor and a meteorologist. He was one of the first proponents of the chaos theory, and also he figured this out because one day he was doing global climate models, and he was running out of time, and instead of going back and running the second time at the beginning in initial conditions, he started in the middle, and he, just as other scientists of his time, thought that it would the end result would be the same, but it ended up that the two models were drastically different, and that was because one started with initial condition and one did not. For example, if this pin was standing up and this ball was held above it and it was dropped, it would be very hard to determine whether it would go to the left or to the right because of the way it would strike the pin. So if it was held directly above the pin, there's no way, because of all the minute little indiscrepancies that could happen when this ball falls, there's no way to tell if it could go to the left or to the right of the pin. After the models went awry, the weather models went awry, he began to make a mathematical explanation of why things, to show the sensitive dependency of initial condition. So the reason that it's termed the butterfly effect, it comes from a suggestion that anything such as small as the flap of a butterfly's wings in South America can change the weather in Texas, and that's how it came about to be called a butterfly effect, trying to show that a small change can make a big difference in a larger system. Although that the weather was the main thing that was being predicted or was being used to explain the butterfly effect, there are other systems as well. You can also use it to explain asteroids in outer space, that they're not always going to go to the same spot. They're not always going to go to the same spot because of gravitational pull from the sun, from other planets. Also, human behavior is one example of a larger system that is very unpredictable. For example, a family member of someone that has committed suicide is left on Earth wondering why and how did they miss what could they have seen that they missed that could have caused his suicide. But in reality, there are just a wide array of dispositions and very large amount of experiences and emotional factors that come into play, that there are just too many to predict to ever be able to predict that this person would have committed suicide. The counter theories that the other scientists presented argued that larger systems, although they were complex, still followed an order which was not true chaos. And even though that factors are larger, that yes, they are large, but they are quantifiable and finite. There are no actual evidence of proof that a butterfly's wings, cause a tornado in Texas. Even though not all systems are unstable, there's no scientific reason that the universal systems that there's no claim to it that they are unstable. The chaotic does not entirely mean random. It may also mean that they're unpredictable but yet deterministic. The popular media usually refers to the butterfly effect as something in time travel, which a book was written by an author named Ray Bradbury, and it was called A Sand of Thunder. And ironically, this was written 10 years before Lawrence was accredited with terming the concept butterfly effect. Also, there have been other films in the media that, such as like Back to the Future, that McFly goes back in time and try to get his parents back together to dance when they split up so they can be his parents in the future and not his mother with somebody else. And then the 3 things that I've discussed are where this concept came from, the counter theories, and also how the popular media sees it. If you take a look at your life and you can just think back into how many people do you think that you have affected. I mean, you can take one person and look how that person affected another person, that person affected another person, so on and so forth. So instead of you just affecting one person, your molecules of existence have affected thousands and thousands of people. If you look deeper inside you, you can realize that everything that you do matters. There's a book called The Butterfly Effect, How Your Life Matters, written by Andy Andrews, and in it he stated, every move we make and every action we take matters, not just for us, but for all of us and for all time. And don't you want your molecules of existence to be a positive existence and influence?